Am I a narcissist? That might be a question that you've asked yourself, especially if you've been in a dysfunctional relationship, or perhaps many dysfunctional relationships. You know, my favorite author, or certainly one of my most favorite authors, is Brene Brown. And Brene says you can't swing a cat without hitting a narcissist. Well, in today's world, narcissism is something that's a big topic on the internet, self-help books, and almost anywhere you look, there's something to do with potential narcissism, narcissistic codependent relationships. You know, it's all pretty confusing, and really, you know, it's difficult for lay people like us, you know, if you're not a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or a counselor, to actually, you know, do diagnosing. The manual that they use for that is called the DSM-5. That's the current manual. And the DSM-5 lists some key attributes for narcissist or somebody with narcissistic personality disorder. That person would display a pattern of grandiosity, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. And, you know, if you're wondering if you are a narcissist, and perhaps you're even worried about that, chances are you're not. Because a narcissist, frankly, wouldn't care. That's kind of the bottom line. You know, somebody who is a narcissist and, you know, tend to attract people who may be, you know, seen as codependent or people pleasers. These are sort of an attraction between those two things. And, you know, we all may attribute ways that we act. Sometimes we are people pleasing. Sometimes we may be a little self-centered, and perhaps even rightly so. But on any given day, how we behave and how we relate to others is really going to be a function of many, many different things. Somebody who may be narcissistic compared to somebody who may be a people pleaser, you know, these are just coping mechanisms that we learned when we were very young. And they served us well, and eventually they became a part of who we are and how we see the world and how we act. If you're in a relationship with someone who displays, you know, some things that you are having a very difficult time with, and it seems like maybe you get the same pattern over and over again. Maybe you had multiple marriages like me. Maybe you've had other things that have come up, other relationships that have been eerily familiar. You may be stuck in a pattern, and, you know, clearly looking at how what is your contribution to that pattern is really important. You know, those of us that are in these relationships and we try to change to maybe make the other person happy, typically we are not the ones who would be anywhere close to being classified as a narcissist, according to the diagnostic manual of the American Psychiatry Association. The longer that you're in a relationship that's dysfunctional, the more you may try to change yourself. And that is absolutely something that makes you feel crazy after a while. You know, you might feel like you've lost yourself. You might have this weird feeling of brain fog. I know I did. Actually, I kind of thought maybe my blood sugar was down, and I just couldn't quite figure it out. That's what happens when your frustration and your anxiety build up, and you sort of disconnect from yourself in order to really kind of survive the situation that you're in. Your partner, if you're in a dysfunctional relationship, will clearly want you to feel like you're the one who's the problem. It's all your fault. They don't tend to take responsibility. And, you know, relationships are about this thing called reciprocity, which means there's like an ebb and a flow. One person just doesn't do all the work. One person doesn't do all the housework. One person doesn't do all the working outside the house. And oftentimes when you're in these kind of crazy-making dysfunctional relationships, the person who maybe is, that you're with, they maybe, they say they want to work, outside the home. They say they may want to get their housework done and take care of the homemaking responsibilities. And they complain that, that they just want to, but there's always one thing that prevents them from doing it. Maybe it's too far from home. Maybe the commute is too much. Maybe they don't like the boss. Maybe they're just tired, and maybe, they manifest illness when necessary in order to keep from actually pulling their load and creating a real reciprocal relationship. They really do need to feel like they're superior and in control. You're not alone in what you're going through, especially if you're on that crazy making merry-go-round right there. You're not alone. Lots of us have gone through these sorts of challenges, and unfortunately, we tend to keep to ourselves. We don't talk to our family. We are too embarrassed maybe to talk to them. Maybe counseling isn't something that that is supported in the environment that we're in. And but you're not alone. And as you can reach out and learn really some of the things that really impact this type of relationship, and learn maybe that the things that you thought you were thinking aren't really your thoughts. They're actually kind of put in there by your partner to help them maintain that need for control and superior that they really need. So talk to a trusted friend. Seek help from a counselor. Educate yourself on what you can do to protect yourself from further harm. It's just so important. You don't have to live that way. The book I wrote called The Antics, there's a couple of characters in there, Carrots and Narcy. And, you may actually recognize a little bit of each of them inside of you. But predominantly, as you look at the book, the stories and the things that they do with each other and to each other are really not unique. If you are struggling in a dysfunctional relationship, maybe a toxic relationship, first of all, know I really care about you and what you're going through. And I would just ask you to take a look at the Antics book. Go on to my website, look on my YouTube channel, and just maybe watch a couple of my videos that just kind of talk about what's happening. And I think that you'll find that you're not alone. I think that you'll find you can relate to Carrots and Narcy, and whether you're a guy or a woman. I've had great reviews on this book from women who actually connect with the content and feel the same feelings that Carrots has felt through his healing journey. And just would invite you to take a look at the Antics, remembering that you're not alone. The book is there. Clearly interacting on Facebook is something that I'd be more than happy to do. And we're building the Antics community right now. Antics has just been out for a few months, and we're slowly building readership. We're slowly building connections through the Facebook page, so we can create the conversation that allows us, empowers us to begin that first step of the healing journey. It's very important for us to do that. We shouldn't have to go through life repeating these crazy relationships. We shouldn't have to go through life walking on eggshells, feeling brain fog, and just wondering, what is wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. Life can be a challenge sometimes. Reach out, talk to a friend, talk to a trusted counselor, crack the Antics book, and read the prologue, The Narcissist Cherry Bomb. I think it'll make you laugh. It did me. And so have a great experience as you step on your healing journey and take that first step forward.